Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Indexer Office Hours. Today is the 31st of March, and we are at Indexer Office Hours 250. My gosh, is the time flying, and I can't believe we're at number 250. This is incredible. For all those who are new to Indexer Office Hours, welcome. This is the town square where graph ecosystem participants come together and discuss the most important and relevant topics for indexes. Today is no different. And as always, this is a conversation and we do love participation, so feel free to get involved in today's conversation via voice or text. Hopefully today's conversation will be an engaging one, so if anyone has any thoughts, then feel free to use the comment box or try using your microphone. If you're having any challenges with your microphone, do let me know and I will get that sorted for you. As a reminder, this session is going to be recorded and posted onto public channels like YouTube. So if you are concerned about privacy, just bear that in mind. And with that, let's get into the regularly scheduled agenda. So as always, I hand off to Carlos for the Repo Watch section.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So this week there's a lot of releases. We're joining hard fork season, it seems, and development is picking up. So I will start with a new release from Get, as this one is a patch release. We're now at 1.17.2, but it does have a critical data corruption fixed, so highly urgent to update. Then we have a new patch version for 𝗟𝗶H𝗸𝘀, also getting ready for Gnosis hard fork. Version 3.3.10 has come out this past week. We also have a new patch version for Nethermind. We are now at 1.36.2, again related to hard forks. There's a new patch version for Avalanche. We are at 1.14.2. There's a new patch version for Arbitrum Nitro. It's now 3.9.8. Has some fixes mixed in. And from Polygon, there's a new 𝗟𝗶H𝗸𝘀 release, minor. It's 3.5.0. And as we all know that Polygon is super stable and it's almost perfect, it really is just about a hard fork, no other fixes landed. And going to streaming fast, we have a new Firehose Ethereum release. We are a new miner. We are now at 2.17.0, which does bring some new features. And there's a new image as well for Polygon. So version 2.7.0, Firehose 3.0 is also out this week. Going over to the consensus layer clients, Lighthouse seems to keep going with the security fixes. We're now on the third batch release. So we're at 8.1.3. Again, critical security fixes on this batch version with CVAs, which have not yet been announced. And we have a pair of new releases, 𝗨𝘀𝗀 and Nimbus. So 𝗨𝘀𝗀 is at 26.4.0 and Nimbus at 26.3.1. Both of these are centered around the hard forks. That's it for the execution and consensus layer clients. Going over to the graph stack, after the very exciting GraphNode release from 0.42.0, this past week it's been rolled out a new patch version. So we're now at 0.42.1, which has a couple of fixes that have been reported by 𝗨𝗨𝗂𝗟, one of them at least, I think, or that came to attention on the discussion there. And going over to the Launchpad stack, there's been a wide variety of chart releases this past week. So there's new charts for Arbitrum Nitro, 𝗟𝗶H𝗸𝗀, ProxyD, Lighthouse, Nimbus, GraphNodes, and Graph Network Indexer, which as of this date should be aligned with all the latest upstream releases. And that's it for this week. So as usual, I'm going to now hand over to Guan.
Thanks, Carlos. Okay, for Protocol Watch, this is going to be one of the shortest one. Forum governance, forum research, and network subgraphs, we don't have any new updates since last IOH. And for the contracts repository, we only have a small, well, not small, but an indexing payments management audit fix PR, which, it's a draft PR currently going through all of the fixes from the latest round of audits. That's pretty much it, so I'm going to be handing over to Abel now.
Alrighty, test. Am I all good? I think I should be good. Thank you both for your sections there. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, sounds like a lot has been going on the report side, but a bit slimmer on the protocol side. So yeah, appreciate you both. Now we move on to the next section, which is all about Tycho. So we mentioned previously that we're going to try and get people on to talk about it. People want to hear about it. We also have our good friend Petko, who, as many of you know, has been involved in the graph ecosystem for a while. I like that sticker. That is hilarious. And so I just thought I'd bring Petko along to first of all, reintroduce himself back into the ecosystem as someone working in the Graph Foundation, and then also to discuss a bit of an introduction to Tycho, and then to field questions for a larger conversation with the Propeller team. So, Petko, feel free to take it away.
Can everyone hear me? I would suppose yes. Okay, I'm gonna share. Let me see. Classic. Discord doesn't have permissions. You guys just gonna have to wait a sec for me to reconnect.
Yes. Okay, cool. He'll hop back in and we'll get that sorted. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions about Tycho, just pop them in the chat there. We'd love to hear your perspectives. I know it's a new project from a new team, so yeah, would love to hear. I know Juan's got some perspectives on Tycho as well, so we can get your questions answered. I see Matt is typing. Repeat. I must have missed that question initially. Repeat above questions. Any updates on denying? Okay. Wait. Let me just quickly check if should have all the necessary permissions. Petco to share. But updates on denying. Okay. Slim said he was asking on this last week. Yes. Slim is not with us today due to being at ECC. I actually thought we'd have a less of a turnout due to ECC, but doesn't seem to sort. Okay, let me just grab that and follow up with Slim on and get you an answer for next week if that's okay. Unless there's anyone in here who has information that they can share as it relates to SPS and GraphNode. Anyone in here working on GraphNode who can maybe help out? Max is typing. Okay. I'm going to text Slim on this now. Question from... All right, I just texted Slim. I saw Max was typing. Is I don't actually see him in the chat in the thingy here. Here he is. Max, do you want to comment on this? I see that you were typing there. Perhaps you want to just quickly address this.
Sorry, I just joined in the voice. Regarding the
GraphNode and not supporting SPS.
yeah,
The
it was
updates there.
deprecated in the latest version. I think it was it should be in the changelog as a breaking change. And yeah, it was yes, substream support was removed. So
Yeah, I just want to say on that point that I mean that decision was with Edge and Node, so Someone from EdgeNode should probably speak more on that. I don't want it to be thought that anyone at the foundation decided that, because they have not.
I'm not sure, but I think, at least I believe, someone was mentioned that it has been communicated, but I'm not sure.
I guess, Matthew, you're looking for more like what are you looking for with this question? Like, you want an update and some reasoning? Is that what you're in pursuit of? Just so we can get some clarity on your request to make sure we get it routed properly. I'm just asking about reward allocation. If SPF if SPS is not supported anymore, then there should be no index rewards allocated to those subgraphs. Okay. Remove support for graph node before the feature is removed from the network. We are unsure if SAO is updated for that part for the whole. Yeah. We need sort of force and signal function built into the protocol. I'll make sure that. Oh, nice! Echo to the rescue! What a legend! Okay, why don't we do that then? Why don't we? Echo said he's going to have a comprehensive update on the SPF for the next IOH, either him or Slim, and we'll leave it in your hands, Petco, to address, and then we'll loop it back. Okay. Anyways, stage is yours. Do you want to try sharing your screen? Hopefully, it should work now.
Yeah, I think it should work now. Okay. I think you guys should be able to see my browser window now.
Yes. Tyco real-time DEX liquidity.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Good. So let's start on this. And before I start, actually, I wanna just tell you guys that next week, hopefully, we'll have the team from Propellerheads on IOH, and they'll be able to dive a lot deeper into Tycho. I'm kind of just I want to give a high level introduction, just so everyone can know like what Tycho is, and then hopefully you guys will be able to form more questions, and that would make next week's session better. So let's start off with the problem that Tycho solves. So currently, the DeFi trading world has a big data problem, even with things like the graph out there, which make it less of a problem, but there is still a problem. Every block, thousands of trades happen across all of the DEXs, Uniswap, Curve, Balancer, PancakeSwap, all of that stuff. And each of these protocols stores liquidity differently. And uses different smart contract structures, and they even update their states in different ways. Basically, each DEX does this on their own, which is obviously they have the freedom to do that, but that makes the life of a solver a lot harder. Now, what's a solver? A solver is someone who figures out the best route for a trade for a given pair. So if you're a solver, that's bad. If you're a market maker, so someone who's providing liquidity, that's also bad. If you're a MAV searcher, who is basically someone looking for arbitrage opportunities, like a degen gambler. So all of these people basically need to know the state of all of this liquidity across all of the DEXs in real time, ideally within milliseconds of each new block. And as agentic finance and AI kind of goes into the space, obviously this is all a lot more relative because the field is going to get a lot more competitive. So today, most of these people, the solvers, the market makers, and the researchers, they build their own proprietary indexing solutions. But that's kind of like building your own indexer instead of using the graph. So it's pretty expensive. It's fragile, and most importantly, it duplicates a lot of things across the industry because everyone's solving the same issue kind of on their own, and everyone is reinventing the wheel, and it's not very good. So the answer to this is 𝗨𝘀𝗧𝗂, because 𝗨𝘨𝘀 is a single open source, well, mostly open source system that gives you a unified real-time view of DEX liquidity across all of the major protocols. So it basically allows for you to have one stream for all of the venues and have all that data with a sub 150 milliseconds latency, which is very good. So just if I were to sum all of that up, basically 𝗨𝘀 turns fragmented DEX liquidity data into a single real-time stream. That's why some people call it the Bloomberg for on-chain liquidity, but that's a bit of a Web 2 term, so yeah, I don't really like it. Now let's talk about how 𝗨𝘀 works. So 𝗨𝘀 was built by Propeller Heads. We're gonna have them on next week, but they specialize in DeFi solver infrastructure. And so what 𝗨𝘀 has is 4 main layers. We can kind of see them here. The first one is the 𝗨𝘀 indexer. So that's the core. It consumes blockchain data and tracks the state of every supported DEX pool in real time. Then there is the 𝗨𝘀 SDK, which is a developer toolkit that applications can use to subscribe to liquidity updates via WebSocket, so then they can get notified and you can get the real-time deltas, just the changes block by block. Then we have the 𝗨𝘀 simulation layer, which lets you simulate swaps against the current pool state without executing the swap on chain. This is very important for solvers who need to evaluate thousands of routes per block. Then we have the 𝗨𝘀 execution layer, and that uses something that's called 𝗨𝘀 router smart contract, and it actually executes the trades on chain. And now this is really cool, in my opinion. Under the hood, 𝗨𝘀 was built on top of Substreams, which is the amazing tool from our friends at Streaming Fast. And so the data pipeline is basically, we have the blockchain blocks, then that goes to the raw block feed in Firehose. That then gets transformed into Substreams modules, and in the case of 𝗨𝘀, there is one substream module per DEX protocol. So there's a Uniswap module, a Curve module, and all that. And then, as we talked, as we said briefly before, there's the 𝗨𝘀 indexer that consumes all of these feeds and materializes the state, a unified state. Then that data goes into Postgres and can then be queried either via the 𝗨𝘀 SDK or from the WebSocket API, and be used from that whole group of people that we mentioned, the solvers and the MAV researchers and all the other good folks like that. Now, how does 𝗨𝘀 really connect to the graph? So it connects to the graph via our good friends at GraphOps. So how did GraphOps get involved? So as we mentioned, Propeller Heads originally built 𝗨𝘀, but there is a slight issue there where parts of the indexer software couldn't really be open sourced by them due to legacy constraints, but I'm sure that they can speak more about that next week. And so that's why GraphOps developed a open source version of the Tycho indexer, having being able to have everything open source and meaning that they can run the full Tycho stack independently. So today, GraphOps has been running their Tycho instance for several months. They are consuming the substream feeds. They're running an indexer, and they are serving the data. So this is all live as real infrastructure, not just a demo. And now, why should we care? Why should we at the graph? Why should indexers? Why should we care about Tycho and the future of the Tycho data service? Well, it's because Tycho is sort of like a proof point for substreams, but because obviously Tycho uses substreams under the hood. Yeah, basically Tycho is, as far as I know, it might not be the first, but it is definitely a real workload that validates that substreams work and that substreams work well. Yeah, I mean, I guess those are that is kind of Tycho in a nutshell. One other important point I think is that the Tycho data service is in the foundation roadmap, in the graph roadmap for this year. Those who were in the previous call where the foundation went through the roadmap know more details. If you weren't there, I definitely urge you to watch the recording, because they go into a bit more detail on exactly how Tycho fits in the roadmap. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. I want you guys to have great questions, not directed at me, but directed at the Propeller Heads team for next week. And I am going to make a little shameless self-promotion. In the dashboard that I'm building, I actually have a blog post on Tycho and the Tycho data service. And most of what I said today here in this presentation is there, but there's also more things there. So definitely check that out in order to be fully informed for next week.
That's awesome, man. Can you link the post? Perfect.
Yeah,
There you go. Round of applause. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. I think it makes sense to spin up a whiteboard to collate the questions so that we can share with the team. And then just for clarification, we've got Rem coming in next week, and the time that we'll have go in is tentatively the 14th, so it'll be the week after week after next week. So let's go into the whiteboard here and put together some Tycho questions. We already got a couple in the chat, so let's get the show on the road. Tycho questions. Okay. As always, feel free to hop in here and pop your questions into the whiteboard. Otherwise, feel free to pop them in the chat, and then I'll transfer them to the whiteboard. So let's have a look. First question here is there an MCP for it? I guess what we can do is, if anyone knows the responses, I know that Juan and Petko are here, we can just try and answer that on the spot. Otherwise, we can try and make sure these questions get to the team. So any thoughts, Petko or Juan, on that? Not sure on MCP support.
I'm not aware.
Okay, cool. So both Juan and Petko said not sure. Is that a question, Matthew? Does it have X402 support, or are you stating it does? Because trading agent would be good for this. That's my question. Okay. Yeah, X402 support. Anyone know, guys? Otherwise, again, not sure.
I think all of those questions are, great questions for the team itself. most of the things that we worked on regarding Tycho, at least when I say we, I speak about GraphOps, was getting able to run Tycho indexer, just as a kind of like a quick rundown of what that was. As Petko mentioned, during the initial time that we spent with Tycho, one of the main issues that we had was that it was not possible, and it wasn't like, even when we spoke with the Propellerheads team, it wasn't at the moment thought to be able to to have people run Tycho indexer. It was just kind of like a SaaS in a way. They provided the Tycho endpoints, and you can use those endpoints. But we were working essentially trying to make it so that it was easier to run Tycho indexer. There was a little bit of documentation on how to run it, but it was incomplete. It was also missing some, as I mentioned previously, some components that are required for TVL and price data calculations, which is not all of the things that Tycho can do, but pretty important things. You usually want to at least filter the data by TVL. That's one of the most common use cases at some point. So we worked on implementing an open source component for Tycho price data, which potentially will be replaced by a more a better component based on Propellerheads Find, which is another product they are releasing, or already released a couple days ago, maybe a week ago, which is also a price engine. But essentially we worked on that, make sure that we could understand how to run Tycho indexer, run Tycho indexers ourselves, and be prepared so that any indexer in the graph network that would want to run Tycho indexer eventually would have a way to run it a little bit easier than what we had to go through, which was a couple months of trial and error to make it work. But yeah, aside from that, we are like the support for Tycho for particularly agent-related stuff. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't taken a look at that in a couple months. But I'm quite sure that those are really good questions for 𝗨𝗂. I don't know if 𝗨𝗂 is the one that's going to be coming here whenever he does the presentation, but either him or any other person from the Propellerheads team, they will probably know it a lot better than us.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing the update on the GraphOps side and adding additional context there. I've popped in the 2 questions that we've got thus far about the MCP and the X402 support into the chat with, well, I'm about to post it in the chat with 𝗨𝗂, I think his name is. I like that Propellerheads gift. That is funny. Any questions, any thoughts from the indexes folks? Maybe Juan, you could link the open source versions of this for the indexes if you have a link there. Any thoughts, any questions, folks? Would be great to collate them just so we're ready for the session coming up in the next couple of weeks. That would be awesome. Amazing. Thanks so much for posting there, Juan. Good stuff. Might be worth spinning up and playing around with it, guys, since it's all there in the GitHub. And if you have any questions, then you know where to direct them. We're going to have a discussion on this very shortly. 𝗨𝗨 Arbitrum, one disk space, the docs on how to run a path-based archive node. Cool. Thank you for sharing, Matthew. That's very kind. Good stuff. See, Juan is typing. Okay, I think the price solver wasn't open sourced yet, since we're discussing migrating to FY.
Yeah, I just checked the GitHub repo for it. It's still private. I don't remember why it's still private. I think we we had plans to open source it from the beginning, but I think it had to do with the that they were working on find this price engine, price quoter. So we were figuring out if we to make it so that it's maintained by the main Propellerheads team and using the same things that they will be using in their own Tycho indexer instances. we were discussing, potentially migrating to Find instead of running separate price solvers. Each Tycho indexer having a separate price solver. So I will figure out if our old version can still be open source, either for legacy reasons or if it makes no sense, and we will just move to Find eventually. But I'll get some answers for next week.
Amazing. Questions there from Mark Andre in relation to what Matthew posted. It seems like there's a chat there in the chat box, which is great. Keep the questions coming, folks. Would love to get them ready for the Tycho team. I'm sure there's things that you guys want to know about the stuff here, so it would be great to get that discussed. In the meantime, might be good maybe Pekka, if you have a couple of minutes to share a bit about some of the stuff you're working on at the foundation. Everyone knows you've been a contributor for a while, so it'd be great to maybe share that with folks if you're open to that.
Oh yeah, sure thing. So as was kind of discussed today, I'm working on the Tycho data service, but not full time like Juan and the other folks from GraphOps. I'm mostly in a technical project manager role at the foundation. So my job is, I guess, to kind of oversee things like that. So I'm both on the Tycho data service and the substreams data service. So if anyone has any questions on all those and kind of what the roadmap looks like from the graphs kind of from the foundation's side, I'll be more than welcome to talk more about that. And also, I'm just I'm very happy to be back at the graph ecosystem, and if I can help unblock anyone on anything or support someone with information or anything else, I'm also always around for that. And another thing that I'm doing in my spare time is the 𝗨𝘀𝗲 dashboard, which I linked before. I really want, the main reason for that dashboard to exist is because I wanted a single place that's like a one-stop shop and a source of truth for a lot of data relating to delegators and indexers, especially now after Horizon, because things are kind of scattered around and it's not very easy to find things. So really, my ambition with 𝗨𝘀𝗲 is to be the single kind of source of truth for the community. Again, it's not a official graph affiliated tool. It's a purely community and hobby tool. But the more people I can help with that, the better.
What a legend! That's amazing. And I've just put another marker here to re-highlight that link, so you guys can go check it out. Check out the dashboard there, and also the post as well. Good stuff. I see the chat is really blowing up, which is great. Oh. Jonathan, I know you're not the biggest fan of speaking, but maybe that might change today. Do you want to share a bit more about the stuff you're mentioning in the chat here? Everyone seems to be appreciating what you're saying or would like to know more.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. I'm using the snapshot that's provided by the 𝗨𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀 team. Yeah, as I think some of you already got the link, and then it supported path-based schema, and then you just need to download the snapshot with the command, and then you will and add the add the thread for enable the path-based and what it's called is the people, the database schema, and then you are good to go. Yeah, currently running in our infrastructure is 3.1 terabyte for the 𝗨𝗀𝗂𝗪 folder. So yeah, it's pretty tiny now compared with 30 terabyte.
Wow, that's awesome. Any folks have any claps? Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome. Any folks have any questions on what was just said there? Reese seems to be getting a lot of love in the chat, which is great. Great to see. Alrighty. Any more questions? I know the chat's been interested in another topic there, but would be great to wrap on the Tycho questions. Any other questions people have in relation to Tycho? It'd be great to share that. I have posted the questions here to the Tycho team in the group chat. So hopefully they're able to incorporate these thoughts and questions into the future presentation. Jonathan's just sent the docs and mentioned it's updated, and Eugene has shared the Poe app as well, which is great. Indexes just got told their 30 terabyte uploads can now 3. Tycho's gonna be in the backseat. fair, yeah, fair. I know it is quite a substantial discovery. Yeah, exactly. No excuse now. You have space to run substreams. I see Ford's in the house. What's up? I don't know if we have the Ford online. There you go. We had some stuff here in the chat. What's up? I love that sound effect and the sticker there. We had a question in here. I think Petco is going to do an update on this for next week. But there's a question earlier in here from Mark Andre asking about GraphNode and how it doesn't support SBS, and if there's any updates on that. Maybe Ford, you might have some thoughts there to share with folks.
I'm not sure. Hey, by the way, everyone. I'm not sure what context y'all want, but yeah, GraphNode stopped supporting substreams powered subgraphs last year. Wasn't getting a lot of usage, and it was a decent amount of work to maintain and run on our infrastructure. So those are now separate. Was there any users or use case that people were requesting this?
Yeah, Matthew was asking for an update there. Matthew, do you want to come onto the mic maybe to share some additional context on what you're looking for there?
Yeah, we're in the chat, whatever.
Yeah, whatever works.
Maybe the question got changed in over the game of telephone. You were asking about the subgraph availability oracle.
Oh, okay, my bad. You want to reiterate? Not a full
Oh,
question.
okay.
Okay.
Cool. It sounds like that's something we can take offline.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, Petco can take that. Thanks so much for hopping in there, Ford. Appreciate it. Always good to see you swing by IOH. Yeah. Yeah, feel free. We have some time actually before you wrap. If you have any updates that you want to share, if you have anything in mind. If not, then it's all cool. Then we can move on. But in case you have anything you want to share, feel free to.
I was just coming to see what you guys were talking about and listen in, but if people missed there was a quarterly foundation call this morning, you might be interested in taking a look at that. I gave a quick presentation on the AMP data service and some ideas for how that might look on the network. So yeah, go take a look. We can talk about that in future IOHs.
Yeah, that's amazing. Is there a link to the recording? I imagine it's on YouTube or something, right?
Yes, I don't have a link available right now. I'll can try to follow up on Discord with one, but it's probably like someone might beat me to it in the chat here.
Yeah, I'm just checking the YouTube channel of the graph. I can't see it. But yeah, I'm sure there's a link somewhere that we can scoop up.
Might take a minute to get the recording out. The call was just a few hours ago, so
That's true. That's true. That's true. But yeah, that would be awesome to get. Oh, it was on Zoom. Yeah, yeah. But normally they stream it as well onto a different channel, as well as doing a Zoom. But yeah, I'll try and dig up a link there, and it'd be great to have you on board to discuss that as well. So I'll make a note of that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'm excited to keep talking about getting AMP on the network with indexers and figuring out what that's going to look on the indexer side, and then also planning the sort of AMP data lake on the network. Getting excited. So yeah, take a look at that call, and we'll follow up here. We'll keep talking about it. I'm excited to work with you guys more again. Get amped.
Yeah, we are amped up. I like that, Paulie V. Let's let me run amp. Nice, nice. I love that. I love that. Yeah, let's definitely an amp session on IOH would be great at some point. Yeah, let's do it. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run it. Yeah. Maybe I'll chat to you for offline to see what date works best for you to come on to have a chat about that. That'll be really cool to see. We had a channel. Let's do it. Nice, 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 nice. Alrighty. All right, we're coming into the final 9 minutes of IOH today. Anyone have any additional thoughts on anything discussed today? Any questions, any thoughts, any future sessions that people would like to see run at IOH? We obviously had a few discussions about ones that could potentially we could do. But yeah, would love to collate thoughts, questions before we wrap today's discussion. That'd be great to see. I see a few people typing there. Let me just make a note as well. Okay, I feel like I I feel like you bought the most MVPs. He's basically, yeah, that's true. Alrighty, I see a few people chatting in the group chat, which is awesome. The chat box section. Who's gonna set up the group chat? Marc-Andre, you want to take the lead on that? See a few people typing. Might be turning around now, though. Apparently, Sam was buying 40% of the DRAM market. Was just letters of intent, which he didn't follow through on. Lol. DDR5 coming down now a little bit, not a lot, but first time moved in that direction in a while. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy there. DDR futures. Yeah. Yeah, Sora sucked. I can't believe they launched that. That was such a silly product. I didn't understand why that was necessary. I'm glad it got shut down. Yeah, Claude is incredible. It's amazing. It is really, really good. I can't imagine my life without Claude. Oh, it's unbelievable how incredible the tool is. Alrighty. Let's definitely get some AMP discussion going. Let's take this opportunity then also to wrap. I see that Ford's just left us there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining for today's conversation. Feel free to keep going in the chat. We can still keep going. There's no hard deadline. We can keep pushing. But in terms of the official call and the recording, I'll take an opportunity here to wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's episode. We really do appreciate you. And again, we'll have a full schedule for you next week and the following weeks as well. Thanks so much for everyone who joined and engaged, and we'll see you guys again same time next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.